Outside is coming up on 7 a.m. and temperatures are falling into the teens. You factor in the wind, it feels like it's near zero.
People hurt most by COVID-19 are about to get some financial help, but politicians across the state Senate say they wanted more.
Pay our rent. We're ready. We're tired of COVID.
This morning, we've got the latest update on who will receive some help and when that relief is coming.
And this morning, I'm talking about what you think about the COVID response, what the entire state of Washington said in this new poll.
Up with KREM begins now.
Well, hey, thanks for joining us on your Thursday morning. Welcome to Up with KREM. Today, there is a wind chill advisory across parts of our region.
This morning, taking again a live look outside this morning. It's a pretty sunrise, Jeremy, but it is awfully cold outside.
Yeah, you know, it definitely is, and parts of our region are under a wind chill advisory. Tomorrow, we get to join them here in Spokane because it will feel like it's below zero in the morning.
Oh boy, yeah. The temperature is single digits, but when you factor in the wind chill factor, it makes a difference.
Yeah, you know, I have a few questions. One of those is, how many pairs of pants is too many pairs of pants to wear?
I don't think there is too many.
Okay.
I think that's a trick question.
Trick question. There you go. So, 2. That's what I'm going with today. Well, that's not too many. It's just 2 right. Anyway, let's do weather. Let's get you out the door because it is chilly. Not just when it comes to the temperatures. So yeah, the temperatures are cold. We're down to 15. It's pretty close to the coldest we've been so far this season, just by 2 degrees. And with temperatures still dropping, we likely don't get down to that 13-degree mark. But when you factor in the wind, it sure does feel cold. 15 in Spokane, 13 in Coeur d'Alene, 12 in Sandpoint, 11 in Omak. All of those places. Let's go through them once again. Factor in the wind, feels like 0 in Spokane, -6 in Coeur d'Alene. 7 below in Sandpoint and 7 below in Omak. It is a chilly start to the day. So when it comes to what you should do, here's the way I look at it. You get a nice layer that gives you insulation. That's what's going to keep you warm. Then you say, oh yeah, it's windy. So what you do is you throw on something to block the wind. It's all about those layers. You have that one nice thermal layer and something to block the wind. That's what you throw on top of your regular clothes as you're heading out the door. So that's how you keep the cold at bay. And you're going to need to know this because not just today, but tomorrow as well, we're talking cold temperatures. And later on today, it's a mix of clouds and sun and us topping out near 20 degrees.
Topping out at 20 degrees. Okay, so it's not going to feel a whole lot different than where we're at this morning.
No, it will not.
Jeremy, thank you. 7:03 now. Well, this morning we are learning more about a new COVID relief package in Washington state. Last night, state lawmakers passed the $2 billion deal, and Governor Jay Inslee is expected to sign it next week.
Yeah, more than half of that money is going to go towards schools, COVID testing, and the distribution of vaccines. Now, hundreds of millions of dollars will also go towards rental assistance, and another $240 million will be turned into grants issued to small businesses.
So let's break down that package this morning. $668 million is going to be earmarked for schools. That will help as more students move back to the classroom. $618 million is directed at the COVID-19 vaccine distribution, contact tracing, and testing. And $365 million will go toward rental assistance. That's going to help renters and landlords impacted by the pandemic. Small businesses can also apply for $240 million in grants.
We're ready to beat this virus back. We're ready to open our economy. We're ready to open our schools. We're ready. We're tired of COVID.
While some senators called the bill an early action, others say it's not enough.
Today is watching the house burn down and standing outside with some MREs, meals ready.
Senator Erickson says he thinks there should have been more action last spring. But as for this bill, because of its emergency clause, the relief will go into effect immediately.
Coming up now on 7:05, well, this morning a new survey reveals how we really feel about Washington's response to the pandemic.
Our sister station in Seattle conducted a poll throughout the entire state just last week alongside Survey USA. So let's check in with Dana Marie McNichol to see what they found in that poll. Hey, Dana Marie.
Good morning, Joshua. Well, there are a couple of things that they asked. One of the main things, what do you think about the state's response? Now, 52% of you called it appropriate. 23% say it's an overreaction, and over 20%, more or less, says it's inadequate. Now, we also asked you, is the state of Washington doing all it can to vaccinate the public? Half of you said could be doing more, a third is more optimistic, and a fifth of the responders were just not sure. We also asked if you plan to get vaccinated. 56% said yes, 44% said either no or not sure, and this next one is going to be pretty disappointing for doctors and scientists. Only 17% of you feel vaccines are definitely safe. 44% say it's probably safe, but that leaves 39% of you who still have questions, even though the evidence does prove that it's safe. Finally, if you want a vaccine, would you know how to get it? Well, between Face Finder, hotlines, and media coverage, 61% of you are saying that you know what to do. Nearly a quarter of you are saying no at 15%, and 15% of you as well are saying you're just not sure. So this morning, we want to hear from you at home. On our Twitter page, we're asking you what letter grade you would give your state's response to the coronavirus. And this is what you've been saying all morning long. The winning percentage, 35% are saying that you give it a D. B is in a close second at 32%, so almost matched all morning long. But of course, you have more time to let us know what you think. You could even comment there on Twitter.
Time now for your morning rush. More news in less time.
Well, Tim Eyman is no longer allowed to control finances for political committees. Yesterday, a judge ruled he used donor contributions to line his pockets. The judge ordered Eyman to pay $2.6 million in penalties. Now, this stems from a 2017 lawsuit by Attorney General Bob Ferguson.
New legislation introduced into the Idaho State Senate would outlaw an abortion in Idaho once a fetal heartbeat is detected. The Senate State Affairs Committee cleared the way for a hearing on the bill, which would require doctors to try to detect fetal heartbeats before performing an abortion. Now, abortion activists and opponents of the bill are pushing to see if the U.S. Supreme Court could get involved.
Well, this morning we are learning Amazon might be tied to a secret warehouse in Spokane Valley. Initially, the building permits titled it Project Fireball, but a new permit lists the project name as Amazon GEG2 Hydrogen Project. Rolls off the tongue there. The permit identifies it as a distribution facility taking up 1.5 million square feet. Now, initially, the first Amazon fulfillment center near the Spokane International Airport was titled Project Rose. KREM 2 has reached out to Amazon for comments, but we have not heard back.
3 people have been arrested for a string of burglaries in the Gonzaga area during their winter break. A total of 11 burglaries were reported during that time. The suspects were arrested in connection to 9 of those burglaries. Now, combined, the trio have been charged for 41 crimes. All 3 have criminal histories, including felony convictions. There were approximately 71 victims of the burglaries, including property owners who had to make repairs following extensive damages, like their doors being forced open.
Fort George Wright Drive in Spokane is officially no more. The city is in the process of removing all signage. It will now become Wistalks Way. The city council approved that name change back in December. The new name honors a female warrior of the Spokane tribe who fought against Colonel Wright. He led a genocide against indigenous people, and the tribe pushed for a name change for years.
And that's your morning rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM.
Well, this morning we're talking about a local boutique about trends they're seeing fly off the racks.
You would never see them prior to this.
Well, after the break, how the pandemic is changing fashion.
And in our next half hour, this morning, the state is investigating 4 Seattle police officers who attended the Capitol insurrection. And this morning, they're still on the job.
So transparency is incredibly important, but the process is in place. It's been vetted and cleared through City Council.
Well, now Seattle residents want the city council to step in.
And we're taking a live look at the falls downtown on this chilly morning. Wow, they're incredibly beautiful, but it's cold outside. Bundle up. I'll let you know how long this cold sticks around.
And in case you missed it, our own Whitney Ward sat down with Representative Kathy McMorris Rogers in her first interview since last month's insurrection at our nation's capital.
I think we all need to take responsibility. In a government that is the greatest experiment in self-governance, it requires individual responsibility.
If President or former President Donald Trump decides to try and run for office again, would you support that?
I'm not making any of those decisions today.
Part 2 airs tonight in an interview you will only see on KREM 2 News at 6.